Hello, Moto. Dude, Jaws going shopping. Of course it stopped blowing around the second I pulled the camera out. Hello, Moto. I just got off work for the week. Basically, the only thing I've wanted all week, I've been craving all week, is a hard-boiled egg. And yesterday, I'm proud to announce, I had a hard-boiled egg. It's actually kind of making me emotional thinking about it. Second thing I've been wanting all week, I've been craving, is to paint a watercolor. So we are at Target because I'm an adult with big boy money. So I am gonna paint a watercolor if you would like to join me. And you know, if you have a watercolor, feel free to paint along with me if you would like. Look at the sky. There is supposed to be a severe thunderstorm, but it also said there was a 0% chance of rain. So I figured it was safe to go to Target and buy a watercolor. So I did park in the drug dealing parking spot of Target because I was gonna film a TikTok, but it got dark. They're shopping at TikTok. The real TikTok was the friends we made along the way. And I feel like moving my car is actually more weird. And I'll get my steps in. I actually do not have the foggiest fucking idea where a watercolor would be in Target. Just be super honest. If you saw me in a Target, would you be like, even if I didn't have the camera out, would you be like, that guy's vlogging in Target? I do feel like I kind of have vlogger phenotype. Also, I'm aware I'm doing that thing when people start vlogging where they're too embarrassed to talk out loud in public, and so they like talk kind of half loud and also kind of quiet at the same time. I want everyone to know I'm self-aware of that, but it's a skill you have to build up. You know, you have to build up your tolerance, and mine's really low right now, but I'm trying. Okay, I'm gonna try talking loud. See, I can't do it. $2.25. I don't know the last time I purchased something that was less than like $6. I was like ready to spend $9 on a watercolor. Oh my god. I'm even gonna splurge on the Crayola, like my little baby. Sometimes when I'm in a store, I play this game where instead of like saying excuse me or walking past people when someone's coming at me, I just turn down the aisle. And so it kind of creates like a unique walking path. Like, you know, I never would have been in the trash can aisle, but here I am, and destiny led me there. Everything I love is illegal and so expensive, but not the watercolors I just bought. Welcome to Watercolorville. Population, me. Oh, I actually recorded all of this already, so my watercolor is already started, but all the footage was lost, so we have to start over. Which is something I've always wanted to do. I'm painting a watercolor. I'm making a Christmas tree because it's December and I wanted to make a Christmas tree. And see, now this doesn't feel fun. Now I feel like I'm reading from a script trying to like remember what I said the first time. But I wanted to do a little State of the Union of my vibe recently. I'm in the worst shape of my life. And I've never really been in shape. You know, I've been in sports in high school, so I was like sort of kind of vaguely in shape, but like I played sports, you know what I mean? I was certainly on the team. I wasn't doing conditioning with them, truthfully. I never got to the point where we were like, oh, we gotta start going to the gym. And then I was in marching band in high school and college, which is like an activity that involves a lot of moving around, but like it doesn't really get you into shape because it's a lot of just kind of like, yeah, I didn't have a six-pack from being in marching band. It's a lot of mental endurance for sure. And it's definitely not easy, especially because I played drums. That shit was fucking heavy. I went to the gym kind of off and on in college, never for more than 2 months at a time. So I've been like starting lifting for a few years now. I like to go for runs, sort of like a dog. I don't track anything. I just sort of put on my shoes and run out the door and run until I can't run anymore. I get a snack and then I get on the train and go home. Because it's just not, like, I enjoy vaguely being in shape, but I don't want to run a marathon. I'm not aspiring to lift a certain amount of weight. There's no goal to me. To me, there's no, like, my fitness isn't like a journey with an end. It's more just like, I just like incorporating it into my life, you know? I try to eat arugula a couple times a week. and I try to go for runs when I can. So why haven't I been doing that for the last 6 months? Let me tell you. And this is not a woe is me, I have the worst life of all because I'm skinny fat. That's not what this video is about. There is going to be a point and we'll get there. Well, the point is me making a beautiful Christmas tree with watercolors. But I started this internship in the spring that was 4 days a week. I was off Tuesdays and then I was in person Wednesdays. And we started at 7:30. So Wednesdays I had to drive, so I had to, wake up earlier. Problem was, I didn't think I was getting hired. So I wouldn't say I was half-assing it, but so I was kind of treating it like a hobby. And so I wasn't exactly going to bed on time so I could wake up to go to work, you know? And then when I woke up, it was kind of tough because it was at 7:30. Ran out of storage, thank you, Apple Maps. It felt like a dead end mentally, so it was kind of tough to get up in the morning, and it was tough to make myself go to bed for something that felt not pointless, but like a dead end, you know? On top of that, on Tuesdays, I made an album like all summer, which was awesome and so fun, and it was really important to me, and it still is really important to me, and I love that album and whatever. So on Tuesdays, when I was off, I would run amok all day, running around in circles, working on my album or doing whatever, making TikToks or whatever I was doing, going to the store. But also it was summer, so I was like going to the beach. And so then Tuesday night at like 10 o'clock at night, it was like, oh, gotta go to bed. I don't want to do that, which was a problem because if you remember Wednesday morning, I had to get up even earlier than normal because I had to be in person. And then I would get home Wednesday night and just crash. Like I would just sleep for like hours on end. And then it was just compounding. So then my Thursday was kind of ruined because my Wednesday was like tragic and I would take a nap at 5 o'clock at night. Then I was going to bed super late because I couldn't go to bed at 10. So it was becoming this like cycle of like, my sleep is so terrible. I had a second job too, so I wasn't making enough money at the internship. So I had a second job that was nights. So if I worked at night and then I had to get up at 7 the next day, like I worked till midnight. It's not like you can go home and just like out like a light go to bed and be like, oh, well, at least it's 7 hours. Wrong. I would go to bed at like 1:30. You know? It was tough. My sleep was really bad. I was really stressed. I was apartment hunting. I was looking for another job because I thought I needed to. I ended up getting hired full-time, which is nice. But all of this to say, going to the gym, which already wasn't that big of a priority for me, and I kind of was just doing it for like vibe reasons. It just wasn't a priority to me this summer because it really couldn't have been. It was like, it sort of became, do I go to the gym or do I make my album? Which I decided, and I still stand by this decision, that the answer was make my album. Duh. I'm in the worst shape of my life, which is fine. I've been eating salads. I just got this new salad dressing. It's terrible. The real problem, is that because I don't really use Instagram that much. Instagram, I suppose when they were listening to me at night, probably heard me in bed talking to myself, being like, oh my god, I'm out of shape. I'm so out of shape. I need to go for a run. I need to find a job. Worst shape of my life. Every other gay guy's in better shape than me. And so every day I would open Instagram and there I was presented. It was just a column, a stack of every gay guy in the entire world who was in shape. Every single one of them was right there. And half of them were talking about their fitness journeys and they were talking about their protein intake or whatever. I was already feeling bad about myself, but I was kind of at peace with the fact that it was like, let's figure out this job thing, figure out this apartment thing, make my album. We'll go to the gym later. The gym will be there. Until I was getting slammed in the face every single day with a column of gay guys who were in shape. And so then it was starting to get to the point where I felt so horrible about myself. And I would look in the mirror and be like, when have I ever cared about this? Like, I have, obviously, but never to this extent, never to the point where I'm like thinking about not being vegetarian anymore so I can up my protein intake. Like, that's a core part of who I am, you know? And my life is gonna be whatever it is, without eating meat. I was really frustrating. That's been my vibe for the last couple months. And Explore, for some reason, decided to just stop showing me all of that. So all of that was completely pointless, which is really awesome. Because they could have just done that in the first place. I don't even know it's on my Explore page now. If I opened it, I would have no idea. But it was really driving me crazy. It was making me feel like So yeah, the moral of the story here really is, you know, sometimes going to the gym is just not the vibe. Actually, what should I draw, you guys? I'm gonna draw a reindeer. Sometimes going to the gym is just not the vibe, and like, that's okay. You know, no one's gonna die. I mean, you might die during the vibe of no gym, but yeah, you know, it'll be okay. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be the worst thing in the entire world, so. Here's what I'm saying. If I'm on my deathbed and I have like a six-pack and super nice arms and super great legs, but I didn't do anything I wanted to do with my life other than that, I would be disappointed. But if I'm on my deathbed and I'm a little bit skinny fat, but I made an album and I have a YouTube channel and I did all this cool stuff I wanted to do and I went to the beach and I got drinks with my friends, it's just not a priority to me. And I'm glad that the Instagram Explore feed has picked up on that. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. Hello. It's once again a Friday night after work. I'm actually not watercoloring this time because I want to watercolor and I want to do it maybe not on camera because I feel like I didn't quite get all the healing effects of the watercolor by trying to make a vlog out of it. I will be, you know, holding that watercolor close to my chest, you know, keeping 10% for yourself, all that good stuff. But I have another story about body image and it's a Friday after work, so it's pretty much the same video, but a week has passed since that last video, so hello. You know, do I look any different? I want to show really quick too. They just came in the mail just now. I got 2 new hats from this person on eBay. I mean, this is adorable. My idea was like Ryan from High School Musical, but if it was like a drug rug. No, this is so sick. Like, I love this so much. And I got 2 of them. I got a blue one. Anyway, I'm not going to film with the hat on. A few months ago, I saw 2 Hollis at Franklin Music Hall in Philadelphia. I was standing in line for 2 Hollis for like an hour in front of these 3 16-year-old boys, which was the worst experience of my life on a personal level, but the best experience of my life on anthropological and sociological level. I truly never knew what they were going to say next, like, at all. And these were like, I mean, it was a 2 Hollis concert, so I would have thought it would have been more artsy 18-year-olds, but there were a lot of like lacrosse players there, for lack of a better term. I didn't realize how normie his fan base was, I suppose. I already knew I was going to be a dinosaur. I hung out in the 21 plus balcony the entire time. I did not move. You could not pay me all the money in the world to go down to general admission at that concert. Hell fucking no. Hell no. I kept using slang that was computer based, which I thought was so bizarre because, like I said, you know, they were kind of like giving lacrosse player. So I was like, they were making fun of the girls at the concert, saying they were all dressed the same, is the joke they were making. But they kept saying like, dude, it's like Control Z, Control V. I didn't even fucking say it right. It's like Control C, Control V. That just cannot be. That's the term? That's what you're saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, I get it, obviously. It just, to me, was like, that's like the dorkiest thing I've ever heard. Are you a nerd? Why are you using Control V to like make fun of girls? What? It just, I didn't know this was happening. I don't know. Like, it literally sounds like something like a stereotypical nerd from the 90s would say when they're like playing a video game with their friends or something. Like, I just was like in awe. Well, I guess just to me, the fusion of the nerd speak into normie vocabulary was really bizarre to me because, frankly, I know that, you know, they've all been raised on technology, but I thought they were playing on their iPhones, which doesn't have Control C, Control V on it. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? But more importantly than that, and much more like concerning, they spent a considerable amount of time, like, you know, the 40 minutes that we shared together. By the way, our only interaction was after they said the Control C, Control V thing. I turned around because I'm old and I said, you guys are all wearing the same thing. Because they were. Literally all 3 of them were wearing baggy, like TikTok baggy jeans that were like black, but like greenish black, like from Faded London or whatever, and like black tank tops. And I think one of them was wearing like a white tank top. Like, they were wearing the same outfit and they were like, oh, literally like unintelligible nonsense. And so I was just like, oh, okay, and turned back around. Like, I was like, okay, whatever. Not that I was expecting an intelligent conversation. I was just with them, but I was expecting like something more interesting back. I cannot even for the life of me tell you what they said. Like gibberish. So I don't know, maybe I am too chopped and unk to understand what these 16-year-olds said in response, because I'm sure they were making fun of me, but I didn't know what it was. I think much more concerning to me was the fact that they spent at least 50% of their conversation was talking about like other men's bodies and like what they looked like. I think back to high school, the football players or whatever in my high school definitely were talking about each other's like athletic ability, like making fun of it, like being like, dude, he can't even like throw the ball or whatever. I don't know. I guess I was just a little bit thrown off that it was so aesthetics focused. Aesthetics? Yeah, it was so focused on the aesthetic, oh my god, of the male physique and the different details of it. It was really bizarre. And these were not like 3 closeted 16-year-olds, okay? I can recognize that, right? I'm not that chopped and unk. I know what a closeted 16-year-old looks like. This was not that. But they just went on and on and on and on and on about like, dude, his build is like terrible, dude.
He's so tall, he'll never have a good build.
Huh? I didn't know there was a thing as too tall, first of all, in the terms of, in terms of male hierarchy of attractiveness in regards to height. I didn't know there was a too tall. I thought it was just like an up graph and the taller was better, you know? But I suppose in terms of having the right build, you could be too tall because then it's hard for you to build muscle because you're taller. But like, why did these 16-year-old boys care about that? It wasn't just that too. It was like they were talking about like, dude, like he's good, but like his arms, like his arms just like, they like don't fit the rest of his build. Huh? What are you talking about? And then they went on this whole tangent about calories because they were talking about one of their friends was like fudging his numbers on their collective calorie counting app. Like, these are like 16-year-old straight men. It was so weird. Log a slice of pizza as like 50 calories. It's like, dude, do you think we're stupid? And I was just standing there like I'd been consuming, not by my choice, some content from Instagram Reels about weight loss and I guess just general physique and stuff. And so hearing all of it in real life, you know, hearing about the skinny fat epidemic in real life made me go, holy shit, wait, I'm crazy. Wait, we gotta shut the goddamn phone off. Like hearing it actually said out loud from like another person, wait, I don't care. You guys sound nuts. I guess I just was so taken aback by how, like I said, like just how it was so focused on like the visual appearance of other men and not on like the ability. You know, it's not like they were like concerned with like the goal of playing football better. Like it's gonna be, if you as teenage boys are gonna be obsessing over the physique of anyone, I would imagine it would be, you know, the women that you're trying to attract and not just thinking about other men all the time, especially considering the only thing they said about girls the whole time was making fun of them for all wearing the same outfits. It was like, don't you like, you know, related to what I was talking about with like how I was feeling kind of weird about my body image, and then an amount of time, like opening Instagram, I was just constantly in the face with like, you're fat and you need to kill yourself. Hearing it manifested in real life by a bunch of 16-year-old boys was like really scary. And I was friends with plenty of straight men in high school. I cannot remember a single instance of any of them even like acknowledging what each other looked like. Like I don't like, no, we were playing like Fortnite. Even on the soccer team, like, I mean, tennis was one thing because we were all kind of just there to mess around. Soccer was much more focused on like, we want to win this game. But we were never talking about like, dude, his calves are so ugly. Like that never came up. Unfamiliar experience for me. And it made me very sad because I was like for, I guess, the youth or whatever. I don't know, free these men. Free them from the shackles of being raised on Instagram Reels. I feel like this is a topic that could be much better maybe researched and explored in some kind of like actual essay or whatever. I really just wanted to parrot back what happened. So you can come to your own conclusions if you want. Do whatever you want to do with this information. And also, I got smidgens for Christmas and they're so we are post-Christmas. It was pre-Christmas before I filmed it. It's now post-Christmas. So I just put out 2 new songs. One is called Shelf Life and one is called Tape to My Ceiling, and they're both really fun. This is the taped hat and this is the Shelf Life hat. I actually just came up with that now. That was not one. Shelf Life is a electronic-y kind of song that I wrote about my best friend who I don't talk to anymore and all the associated emotions around that. Tape to My Ceiling is a cutesy fun song I wrote about having a crush on a kid from marching band a couple years ago. So if you like either of those, you should go give them a listen. And even if you don't, you should go listen to them anyway, because maybe you'll like them in a way that's abstract and not related to the lyrics. And you're like, I just like the noises, which is how I consume most music anyway. So yeah, Tape to My Ceiling and Shelf Life by Antique. That's Antique. Out now. If you don't know, this is Snickers. I love him. He conditionally tolerates me sometimes. I wouldn't say he loves me, but I wouldn't say he doesn't love me. I think he does in his own sort of way. Put this on the drying rack. I'm having so much fun with this watercolor. This is the best $2.39 I've spent in my entire life. I would really recommend it. I actually do unironically think if you work in an office or something soulless, or you work with spreadsheets or finance or whatever, if you work at Target, get a goddamn watercolor. And I mean that sort of metaphorically, but also literally. Like, do something stupid. I think it's important to do something stupid every single day. Or at least, at the end of the week. And I'm allowing myself to say that even though that's dumb, because I'm 23. Okay, wait. I kind of ate this. Wait, why is that so cute? Aww. Thank you so much for coming with me on my watercolor journey. Comment down below, what's your favorite watercolor color? And subscribe for more. Mwah.